Morning, everybody. We're gonna get started. We start with the Pledge of Allegiance. I'll have Commissioner Godu start us off.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Rockingham County Commission meeting of March 2nd, 2023. And we'll do, in the room, we have Chuck Nickerson, Allison Mikorsky, Layla, Godu, myself in the room, and then in Zoom, we have Commissioner Coyle. We have Robin Bernier, we have Kathy Stacy, we have Catherine Mann, Sheriff's Office. We have Hugh Gates, we have Pat Conway, we have Jason Smith, we have Linda O'Connell, and we have, actually that's and Linda O'Connell in Zoom land. So we'll start the meeting with RFP openings, the ASCOM wireless upgrade engineering and maintenance.
Sure. I move to authorize the Senior Director of Facilities Planning and IT to review, evaluate the proposals and return with a recommendation.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. Any discussion on the motion? If not on the motion, Commissioner Coyle,
Yes.
Commissioner Godu?
Yes.
I will vote yes. Opening for the computer equipment engineering and maintenance.
I move to authorize the Senior Director of Facilities Planning and IT to review, evaluate the proposals and return with a recommendation.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. Any discussion? Not on the motion, Commissioner Godu?
Yes.
Commissioner Coyle?
Yes.
I will vote yes. Fire sprinkler testing award.
I move to award the proposal for fire sprinkler testing to Hampshire Fire Protection Company LLC for an amount not to exceed $6,400 as recommended by the Senior Director of Facilities Planning and IT.
Motion's been made,
Second.
seconded. Any discussion on the motion? If not on the motion, Commissioner Godu?
Yes.
Commissioner Coyle?
Yes.
I will vote yes. Award for flooring, engineering and maintenance building and jail.
I move to award the proposal for flooring, engineering and maintenance building in the jail to Caduz Flooring for an amount not to exceed $8,442 for the engineering and maintenance building and $12,425 for the Department of Corrections as recommended by the Senior Director of Facilities Planning and IT.
Motion's been made,
Second.
seconded. Any discussion? If not on the motion, Commissioner Coyle?
Yes.
Commissioner Godu?
Yes.
I vote yes. Motion number 2.
I move to authorize the reallocation of $3,925 of the $4,984 unspent funds in the completed HR Building ADA Code Update Project to complete the flooring project as recommended by the Senior Director of Facilities Planning and IT.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. Any discussion? If not on the motion, Commissioner Coyle?
Yes.
Commissioner Godu?
Yes.
And I vote yes.
Thank you.
Moving on to the consent agenda.
I move to approve the February 24th, 2023 public and non-public meeting minutes.
Motion's been made. We have a second?
Second.
Seconded. Any discussion on those, on that motion? If not on the motion, Commissioner Godu?
Yes.
Commissioner Coyle?
Yes.
I vote yes. Do we want to discuss the long-term care compliance work plan? It's informational. I don't know if anyone had any discussion on that at all, or
I just comment that it's, I mean, incredibly thorough and it's nice to see the targets, the quarterly target goals and overall my impression was just really well done.
any other discussion? If not, we'll move on to payroll.
I move to approve the remainder of the consent agenda, which includes a payroll expense in the amount of $1,329,589.84 for the period ending February 25th, 2023.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. Any discussion? If not on the motion, Commissioner Godu?
Yes.
Commissioner Coyle?
Yes.
And I vote yes. On to liaison updates. I'm going to start with Commissioner Coyle.
Good morning. So over at the Department of Corrections, the population's around 140. There is a COVID unit right now, and we have 2 staff members with COVID, but it seems like it's contained by having that COVID block set up. It's been a busy week at long-term care. There were this week disaster drills, which were simulations of potential scenarios like a chemical spill or other situations, and staff members even were sort of acted as residents needing oxygen or other, different medical situations to react to making sure everyone was out safe. And those have to occur twice annually. And so we are in compliance with those testing disaster drill requirements. So that's good. Something kind of nice and a long time coming. I guess it must have been 6 or 9 months ago. We met with Glendale about doing plated meals in the assisted living facility. And the purpose of that, rather than trays, is to just get people, it's dignity of the residents and a feel of more of a cafe style or restaurant style. And sure enough, we are starting that over in assisted living. And so that's pretty exciting. And just one example of sort of the progress that we're making with long-term care. Tomorrow is employee staff appreciation day. And so there's going to be cookies for over in the nursing home. Chuck is so busy as usual, but over in finance, we have been extraordinarily busy with audits. In addition to audits, obviously emergency rental assistance is extraordinarily busy. February was the highest payment going out. It didn't hit 1 million, but it was just shy of that. But from December, January, and February, we are really at the cusp of 1 million each month going out for rental assistance. Fortunately, we had a new temporary staff member start on Friday, who is hitting the ground running and helping to process these cases. And it is March, which makes it officially budget season. So thank you for everyone for all your efforts and trying to get the budgets together and let the games begin. So thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Coyle. I do not have any report. Our liaisons are here and will report on their department's progress and status when they get the opportunity.
So set. And I don't really have anything. Usually I monitor the state, but they were on vacation this week. So I'll let my departments also speak when we do the departments a little bit later. So let's move on to the Department of Corrections, inmate administrative transfer pursuant to RSA 30-1:21.
Yes, I move to approve an inmate administrative transfer dated February 24th, 2023 for an inmate transferred to Carroll County Department of Corrections pursuant to New Hampshire RSA 30-B:21 as recommended by the superintendent.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. Any discussion? If not on the motion, Commissioner Coyle,
Yes.
Commissioner Godu?
Yes.
I vote yes. Finance Office, this is the lease reimbursement resolution. Maybe before we do the resolution, maybe Chuck, you can just give us a brief synopsis of what we're doing.
So what basically happens is that when we get vehicles, we finance them through a capital lease. That way we spread out the impact over 3 budget cycles, basically. We do annual payments in advance. That way the first payment has no interest amount and we minimize the overall amount of interest for the lease. What's happened really in this era of Fed Reserve increasing rates so frequently, the financial institutions don't want to do a quote and hold the rate, out there for that long. And so therefore everything kind of has to come together when delivery of the vehicles is either happening or is imminent to happen, which is the case now with these 5 vehicles. One is already received by the sheriff's office. One is ready to be received or delivered for engineering maintenance, and then the other 3 I think will be in short order for sheriff's office. And so to keep the dealership's happy, we do this lease reimbursement resolution to be able to pay the dealerships up front and get that delivery in as soon as possible. And then in turn, then I work to set up the financing arrangement with TD Equipment Finance and get that lease agreement and quote, and that'll be the next step
Okay.
if this is approved.
Is there any chances of that number moving up or down?
Well, the idea is to get it,
Or is it
before it
locked
moves up again, as far as the rate, because, I'm pretty sure the Federal Reserve will probably vote to increase rates next time, and probably won't be 25 basis points, it'll probably be 50,
Okay,
so.
any other commissioners have any comments?
No.
If not, I'll have Commissioner Coyle read the resolution.
Fantastic. The Board of Commissioners for the County of Rockingham, New Hampshire, the county has determined that it may be necessary or desirable to advance money to pay the costs of acquiring 4 2023 Ford Explorer Police Interceptors and 1 2023 Ford F-250 pickup truck, collectively the equipment. Now, therefore, be it resolved by the Board of Commissioners for the County of Rockingham, New Hampshire. 1, the Board of Commissioners adopts this declaration of official intent. 2, the Board of Commissioners reasonably expects to reimburse advances made or to be made by the county to pay the cost of acquiring the equipment from the proceeds of certain lease financing with TD Equipment Finance Incorporated. The maximum amount of financing expected to be issued in one or more series for the equipment is $203,143. The vendor supplying the equipment to whom monies would be advanced by the county is Grapponi Ford for a total of $203,143. 3, this resolution shall take effect immediately upon its adoption. The foregoing resolution to be adopted by the Board of Commissioners at its meeting on March 2nd, 2023. And with that, I make a motion to adopt the foregoing resolution as written and read as recommended by the Senior Director of Finance.
Motion's been made and seconded. Any further discussion? If not, on the motion, Commissioner Coyle,
Yes.
Commissioner Godu,
Yes.
and I will vote yes.
Thank you.
Long-term care services, core medical group staffing agreement.
I move to approve the core medical group staffing agreement and authorize the chair to sign all necessary documents as recommended by the Senior Director of Long-Term Care Services.
Motion's been made. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Seconded. Discussion. If not, on the
These
motion.
next, I was just going to say, these are just adding to our, array of different staffing or groups that we can use for outside vendors. So at the nursing home.
Yeah, thank you, Commissioner Coyle. On the motion, Commissioner Godu,
Yes.
Commissioner Coyle,
Yes,
and I vote yes. Get Med staffing.
I move to approve the Get Met Staffing Incorporated Staffing Agreement and authorize the chair to sign all necessary documents as recommended by the Senior Director of Long-Term Care Services.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. I would imagine this is very similar. So on the motion, Commissioner Coyle,
Yes,
Commissioner Godu,
Yes.
I will vote yes. We have an out-of-state conference approval.
I move to approve an out-of-state conference and travel for a long-term care services employee JS to attend the New England Alliance American College of Healthcare Administrators, ACHCA Spring Regional Conference held May 24th through May 26, 2023 in Newport, Rhode Island at an estimated total cost of $950.30 as recommended by the Senior Director of Long-Term Care Services.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. Any discussion? Not on the motion, Commissioner Godu,
Yes.
Commissioner Coyle,
Yes,
I vote yes. 2-0. Okay, we're already on department heads, so I will start with Allison.
Good morning. Basically, a lot of our focus has just been in on the UKG implementation of Pro and Dimensions. We continue to have various meetings, providing data and in support of moving into our test environment soon. It's going to be pretty impactful and the timelines are going to be pretty distinct and tight. We're holding meetings on the budget as it relates to positions for regrades, repurpose new positions. I'm starting to gather all that information. And I've been doing a lot of stuff around negotiations and I hosted a meeting with the new mental health service providers this past week to discuss outreach, space allocation, equipment needs, and the weekly schedule. They're very anxious to get going. And I know we have had one of our HR generalist has had some outreach from some of the employees asking if they can schedule meetings, but we don't have a schedule yet for that, but it will be in the UNH Cooperative Extension Building. Construction is underway, I would say, picking out paint colors this week, and I'll just have to get furnishings and stuff to have in there for the support of having a nice cohesive environment for folks to go and attend any kind of meetings that they want to have there. I'm contacting our broker to connect in on the benefit renewal planning due to the short timeline, and we're going live on the benefits. It's going to be in the new platform. We usually have our open enrollment period towards the end of May, but it looks like we're going to have to flip it into the beginning of May just to do the audits. They have to do background and we have to do background because it is a new system that's going to have to flow over to the payroll department. So we're on board first for doing implementation of our system. So I will let more to come to the board on that to discuss, because we may need to bring our benefits forward for approval a little bit sooner than we normally would. And I've had a number of miscellaneous employee relations meetings and documentation stuff. The recruiter has been extremely busy. I'm happy to say we have a grant writer interview. I know there was a position in the nursing home, clinician risk position that they interviewed for, so I'm anxious to hear how that came out. We did send out the referral bonus postcards a couple weeks ago to all of our employees, just to remind them that if they refer somebody, they are eligible for a bonus. And that's about it. We're just super busy.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right, I'm gonna go Jason Smith. Morning, Jason.
Good morning, Commissioners. Oh, let's see. All of our plan of correction has been submitted for assisted living with life safety and with the health inspection. We're just waiting for confirmation for approval. I see no reason for it not to, so we're continuing to move forward. We've had one employee test positive for COVID this week. No direct contact, and no residents have been affected. Let's see here. With regards to what Allison was mentioning regarding the clinical risk nurse, the group interviewed yesterday and felt very comfortable with that interview. And so I know Autumn, the recruiter, will be connecting with Allison to go through the next step with the candidates process. And as Commissioner Coyle mentioned, we had a disaster drill. We had a chemical spill yesterday afternoon simulated and a fire in a resident room. I just want to say thank you to everyone who participated, Jude's crew and her team that supported us. We definitely have some opportunities, but I have to say everyone really activated the emergency response system and really contributed to the scenario at hand, where we evacuated residents from being blind to staff members that passed out, dragged across the floor, moving beds. It was real. It was a real simulation, and so we're very happy that we did that, and we will continue to do that moving forward. And then just as far as the staffing contracts that you just approved, I thank you very much for that. These rates are in the mid-range of what we're currently paying with some of our other vendors. So this will just add to the various services that we offer and trying to increase our staffing pool to take care of our residents. Michelle?
I really don't have much to report on this week. You know, we do not have any new cases of COVID amongst our residents. We have one resident who's still recovering from that, but she's at the tail end of that. So I really don't have much of anything else to report.
We're starting to get ready for our survey window to open. So that will be a 7-month long window, but we will look forward to that.
I'm sure you'll do a good job on that. Thank you, Jason and Michelle.
Thank you.
They go to Pat Conway. Morning, Pat.
Good morning. Things are going well here. I was on vacation last week, so I apologize for not being at the Board of Commissioners meeting, but I wasn't here. But while I was away, we had some really exciting things happen. The jury came back with a guilty verdict or guilty verdicts on the Dennis Reed case, which is a really big case. where the defendant was convicted of something like 9 counts of aggravated felonious sexual assault and a number of other felonious sexual assaults. So I'm really proud of my staff for working so hard on that case. It was a 12-day jury trial. There was a view. I had the deputy county attorney, Kristen Vartanian, Rusty Chadwick, one of our lead attorneys, Kate Winter is the advocate, and then Alexis and Pam were the legal assistants working on the case, and they really spent just an untold amount of time prepping for that trial. So I'm just really, really proud of them. So that was a really big win for us and for the county, getting that guy, off the streets, and his sentencing hearing will be in a few weeks. So that was great. We also had 2 guilty verdicts on 2 misdemeanor appeals, which are not necessarily huge cases, but I bring it up because 2 of our newer attorneys tried those cases and they're jury trials. So it's, it takes some skill, and they both got guilty verdicts as well. So I was really proud of them, and just shows that they're coming along and doing a good job for the county. We had 2 legal assistants start this week. So we were able to hire those 2 people that I spoke about, and they started this week and they're being trained. They're really excited to be here and bringing a great new energy to the office. We still have 1 open attorney position and 1 open legal assistant position, but we're working on filling those positions. And again, HR and Autumn has been really great in helping us with that. So I want to thank them. Other than that, like I said, things are going great. We continue to be really busy, but that's my update.
Wow, congratulations to your team, Pat.
Thank
That's great news. I did see that right away, and good news that the other cases too got convictions with the newbies. So congrats again.
Thank you. And it's, people typically just see the outcome, but they don't really understand how much work goes into it. And it's really a lot. It's months and months of preparation. And when they're preparing and they're in trial, everybody else in the office, meaning the other attorneys and the other legal assistants and the other victim advocates, have to stand in for them and cover for them in all their other hearings. So it's really a great team effort. And again, just proud of my staff. So thank you. Appreciate it.
Very good. We're gonna go to Jason Henry. Morning, Jason.
Good morning, everybody. Yeah, still have the COVID unit open. It's probably gonna be another week or 2, because what we've done is as new positive, the time frame starts for that person, so they'll come off after their 10 days and wean off and go back to units. So it's gonna be a process. It's full PPE on the units, it's gowns, it's masks, everything else, 95s. So that's a little process for us that we're dealing with. Jude came over this past week and did a tour with us of the facility inside of here, which is great. She got to see some things. We also worked on the furniture for the new building, make sure room by room we're all set, and some items for budgetary purposes that I think will create some efficiencies and actually cost savings come down the road in case something ever does happen. So that went very well. I sat down with Catherine over here in finance yesterday, hammered out quite a bit of the budget. So that process is moving along real well. I think that for right now, that's all I have. Thank you.
Great, thanks, Jason. I'll go to Jude Gates. Good morning, Jude.
Good morning, everyone. Not a whole lot new to report. All is well. We are still busy. I do have the furnishings for all of the occupants of the new building. I started with Jason yesterday, and his team went through it with me. I was very impressed that they knew exactly where every room was. If I said clinician, they went right to the plan and they said right there, and this is what we need. So I think it's a tribute to the amount of work that they've put into it. And it was a really fun tour as well. So we have a few items on our list now to work for. I'll be reaching out to the remainder of the other 3 groups to go over the furnishings with them. It's just the furniture that will be going out to RFP. I think Chuck talked about it a couple of weeks ago. It's not the built-in, so it goes pretty quickly. We are working with Allison upstairs on the mental health clinicians room. It promises to be a very nice space. So I think Allison's done a great job with her image. We're painting the floor and putting down a carpet, for example, a rug instead of carpeting it, which is, much more institutional. So I think it'll be a nice space. We're helping out Jason over in the Underhill Solarium. They're doing renovations. I had my electrician in there yesterday, taking down fixtures, putting up temporary smoke detection and the like. And we're just marching right along. All's well. Thank you.
Good, thank you. Let's go to Kathy Stacy.
Morning. Good morning. Not much to report. We're still seeing a lull in what's happening in the real estate market, obviously, but we're working on a couple of very big projects. So, which is good. So it keeps the staff busy. We did have a big purchase this morning in Glasgow of $6.1 million, a piece of property. Believe it or not, it's less than 2 acres of land for $6.1 million. So, commercial properties moving. So, and that's pretty much it. Thank you so much. Have a great day.
Kathy, let's go to the sheriff and Captain Meehan. Morning.
Good morning. Can we hear them? Yeah, nothing really new to report. We do have 2 dispatches that are starting on the 13th. We had the new full-timer. I swore him in on Monday. Had a part-timer that came back. I swore him back in. That's it. Just continue to be busy and trying to watch out for the snow coming in. So.
All right, thanks, Sheriff. Robin Bernier.
Morning, everyone. I do not have anything new to report this week.
Nothing?
Nothing.
All
Lots
right.
going on, but nothing really to report on.
All right, we'll let you off the hook this time.
Thank you.
Chuck Nickerson.
Commissioner Coyle mentioned some of the things that we've been working on. We're happy to have some additional help as far as processing cases. So that individual does seem to have caught on with the Uncork system. So yes, so,
Famous Uncork.
yes. Doesn't mean that somehow the system itself has improved, but it's nice to have additional help. Let's see, as was mentioned, we do have several different audits going on, whether it's, again, some of it's quiet period because information's been submitted and we're just waiting back from the auditors, whether it's a state agency or what have you, to get back with us. All these are like routine scheduled audits. They're not ones that if we did something wrong there. Coming, so it's whether it's financial statement audits or the every 5 years Medicaid cost for audit, or the annual workers' comp excess premium audit, or this is lots of audits and reporting that we do. Things. So the state actually pushed back the deadline on that county emergency equipment grant application back to March 14th. I did reach out to try to see if they would answer some questions on eligibility items. Unfortunately, they did not. They said, "Oh, just apply and you'll find out that way," essentially. So, so I'll probably bounce some things off of some of the other counties to see what they might have already put in for, to see if they have something that was similar to like the suicide prevention type cells, and see if they had some sort of equipment that was related to that was comparable and got passed. So, but we'll see, I guess, what we're able to really put in for and get approved. Yes, some departments have already started working on their budgets. I will let them roll forward the numbers in Munis, because we'll do the same thing this year, enter the budgets in Munis. So he'll just roll forward all the numbers from the current year's budget to next year, and that'll be the starting point.
Okay.
Obviously, departments can go in and they can, edit those on their own. And they can also, if they want to, break down some of those line items to very specific detailed items and attach support if they want to in Munis as well. And we will have our normal annual workshop. We haven't picked out a definite date, but it should be some week right in the middle of March, because that way it'll still give departments like another 10 days or whatever,
right,
to be able to get their budgets, fully completed in Munis. And maybe as a courtesy, I'll have some of my office send a little reminder email to the non-county specials, because some
Yes,
try to claim that, that they never knew or whatever, though there's no excuse for the ones that we've been providing budget funding for years.
right.
I mean, it's every month.
And will you let them know, we had some discussion in maybe last year or whatnot on the non-county specials, that we would have a Zoom meeting. So they can do a presentation. So are we gonna do the same thing?
Instead of having to come in, we can do that as, be up to the commissioner as far as who you want to,
Yeah, it'd be nice to,
present.
it'd be nice to hear what they're asking for, number
Okay.
one, and what they're gonna do with the money. I thought we,
So you just want each one to actually do a short thing then, or?
yeah. I don't know, what do you commissioners think?
I'd like a list of the non-county county specials, and who they are and
Okay.
what we're currently doing.
Maybe
Can I
Commissioner,
ask a question real quick? Sorry to interrupt. I want to ask just on behalf of the Child Advocacy Center, because I know that they request money, I think, every budget season. So when does she have to make the request or have that paperwork into the county, just so I can let her know, Maureen Sullivan?
It's the same as all the other departments, Pat, that, all the department proposed, which would be including non-county specials, would have to be this month. So
Okay.
March, I think we put on we might put March 30th, I think, on the website, because I need to have some time to review the submissions, and then I enter them into Munis, because obviously the non-county specials aren't gonna have access to Munis. So. Yeah. So I
Okay.
need at least a day to be able to look at what's been submitted, then enter those numbers into the Munis system, to the budget module.
Thank you, Chuck.
Commissioner Coyle, do you recall having that discussion one year? I think, I don't remember when it was. We discussed having them in front of us. Even if it's.
That's
free.
great.
All right. Okay.
Yep.
All right, so let's do that. Anything else, Chuck?
Let's say I mentioned that we did get the 157,000 in from FEMA through the state, HSEM, Homeland Security Emergency Management.
Okay.
They're the ones that FEMA partners up with as far as statewide to flow through review of FEMA projects and approval. So because the dollar amount on the 2021 materials one, because that's over 400,000, they just asked for additional survey and some other information. They asked for that the other day. I completed it right away. So hopefully that amount will also be coming in. And again, that'll just help the actual 2023 fiscal year numbers, because FEMA, you report or recognize revenue when you receive it.
Okay.
So,
Very good.
and just, overall, just very busy. Conference season is upon us, because it seems like usually it's late April or May that conferences happen, or in the fall. And so I will have a couple of out-of-state ones coming up. One of them is for Munis, which is done by Tyler Tech. And that's a really big conference. I'm hoping to send Katie Casey, my number 2, the assistant finance director out there. This year it's in San Antonio. Basically, Tyler Technology is so big that they have to have their conference at a venue that can house like thousands of attendees. So,
All right. All right, all set? Yeah. Okay, good. I'm gonna go for Layla to see if she's got anything that she wants to relay to anybody, or
It's all good.
everybody being good?
Of course, aren't we
Okay.
always?
All right. Now, I see Linda O'Connell. Is she a member of the public, or? Probably, right?
I'm not I'm an integrator partner for one of the bids that are going to be open today.
Oh, okay. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
She's one of the vendors for the openings.
Commissioner,
Yes, Commissioner Coyle.
we just have, with respect to new business, we have a walk-in regarding MOUs.
Yes,
I have it on my list.
So
so are we ready to do that?
I am,
Okay, go ahead. Commissioner.
I move to approve 2 MOUs regarding overtime, one with Teamsters Local 633 of New Hampshire, representing Rockingham County Department of Corrections Supervisors, and one with NCEU Local 118, representing Rockingham County Department of Corrections Correctional Officers, as recommended by the Senior Director of Human Resources.
Okay, motion
Second.
been made and seconded. Any further discussion? If not, on the motion, Commissioner Godu,
Yes,
Commissioner Coyle,
Yes,
and I will vote yes. Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Any further new business for you, Commissioner Coyle? I'm gonna go to Commissioner Coyle first. He's been on she's got the floor. Do you have anything else you'd like to add on the new business?
I don't.
Okay, I'm gonna go to Commissioner Godu.
thank you, Commissioner Chercello. I have 3 items that I'd like to discuss relative to the construction project. The first one is that I would request that I get a copy, that we all receive a copy of all the invoices that have been paid to Harvey Construction and to Warren Street up to date. And I'd like to get those invoices before our meeting on March 9th. Just, I don't have a particular issue with them. I just want to know exactly
Okay.
what we have paid so far.
Let me just ask Jude, because that would be within a week. Is that something that can be done? Yeah, okay, Chuck.
Okay, so I'll have Brenda take it because we do scan all those accounts payable warrants.
Okay.
Well, what we'll just do is in Munis, we'll just look up the vendors, the 2 vendors, and we'll do a sort by check date, and I'll give the voucher number, which we also call AP warrant number.
Yeah.
And, T whatever, that's what all those T numbers are.
Yeah.
And then we have those, all those warrants scanned. It'll just be a matter of pulling out the invoices from those warrants. And compiling them.
And that would only be 2 vendors. We didn't pay anything to Revision. Is that correct?
Harvey would have been the one to.
We haven't paid anything to Harvey either.
right.
Nothing at all?
No,
Not even to consummate the contract? You don't do a contract without money exchanging usually.
we have not exchanged any money with Harvey. They've attended every weekly meeting. Their chief estimator has been in on every meeting. We have not paid them anything.
Interesting. Okay, Chuck, you'll confirm that, right?
Yeah,
Will you go
it'd be a
through?
simple search. Yeah.
Right.
That's not unusual as far as I know. I mean, it's generous of them, but not unusual in terms of because they haven't begun.
I would imagine we have paid Warren Street money.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Second-
All right, that's
second-
my first, my second request is that we send a letter to both Harvey and Revision requesting that they provide us a copy of the contract that they executed last August to provide solar for the county. We, at the best of my knowledge and my research so far, we do not have in writing what we are buying for $10 million from Revision. So I don't know if there's going to be any resistance. When I talked to Ron, he said that this project was complete open book to us. So I assume that will mean that sending us a copy of this contract with all the details in it is part of being open book attitude. And so I would hope that they would comply without difficulty. I've written the body of the letter would say the Rockingham County Commissioners request that you provide us a copy of the contract that was accepted by and between Harvey Construction and Revision Energy. We would also like a disclosure of the management fee associated with this contract. Getting this information before our meeting on March 9th will also help assist in that meeting.
Commissioner Coyle?
Couple things. I assume you who's Ron? You talked about Rob?
Rob Prunier.
Okay, Rob Prunier, sorry. The second, reviewing the letter, I assume that's just a typo where you wrote accepted, EXCEPTED, as
I meant
opposed to ACC. Oh, okay. Just if we're going to go forward with this, I just want to make sure that's clear. I'm not inclined to go forward with this letter. I feel like let's have the meeting rather than putting everybody, like, let's work collaboratively, talk to them about it. I don't think it's, that we should send the letter now. I think we should have a meeting, just have a discussion with them since they're going to be there. And then if there's an issue with obtaining it or then we can send a more formal letter, but I don't think it's necessary to send a formal letter at this point.
Okay, so I'm just trying to understand this. This is the contract between Harvey and Revision, right? It's really, it's between those two entities.
It is, yes.
Okay, while I certainly can understand where you're going with that, Commissioner, I do. I've always had a hard time, an issue with government telling businesses what they should provide us, what they shouldn't provide us. That's really a contract for them. Now, if they're willing to share it, I'm fine with that. I know what the bottom line is gonna be. We've actually got $10 million for the solar, correct, Chuck?
We have the, again, that was gonna be fully funded through the lost revenue piece.
Right.
Of ARPA, so as a separate project from the amounts dedicated for the building.
Right.
So yes, the 10 million plus, I think it was like 10,158,000 or something like that.
So I'm sort of, the way I'm looking at it, I'm sort of like the bottom line guy. I know what that number is gonna be. I don't really have to. I'm a little bit different where I don't have to see all the fine details about it. Cause I know it's not gonna change my bottom line number now. Maybe what we do is at that meeting, we can ask them to provide, see if they would, but I'm not gonna force that issue because that's really two businesses that are dealing with that. So I feel a little bit weird as a government official asking for those details, but if it was different, if it was a contract between us, I may feel a little bit different, so. Commissioner Godu.
So I obviously disagree with both of the other commissioners on this issue. And the reason is that at the moment, we are engaged in a $10 million worth of our $87 million project, which that's about what the number is coming out to based on my numbers at the moment. And we do not have in writing what we're buying. I know we have a sales presentation from Revision, but we have no idea what we're buying. And this contract has been privately executed. For all I know, and I doubt that they would do anything like this, they could be giving us half of what we were presented, because that's what's in their contract. We don't know what Harvey and Revision is providing to us. I'm outraged that we don't have this document in our possession at this moment. This is, I'm happy to ask them in person for that, and I'll express my concerns on March 9th, but this should be a mundane, normal, we should just have a copy of what's going on, and we don't. And we don't know how much money. We've budgeted $10,155,000 for Revision, and we don't know how much money Harvey is charging us to have it in their contract. I know that we discussed that Harvey, there was some advantages to coordinating correct construction activities with Revision and Harvey, and that's why the contract is between them. I disagree with that, but that's past tense. They have the contract, and now I want to know how much we're paying them to have that contract. Is it an additional 2.25%, which is $225,000, or is it an additional 10% that I saw in the contract that is would be $1 million? It says 10% for subcontractors. I don't pretend to completely have digested their contract. I've looked at details. I'm asking the question, and I can't believe that you don't want to get a copy of the contract to see what it is that they agreed to.
Commissioner Godu. Commissioner Godu, this has been multiple weeks that we've discussed this. And we as a board discussed this, like the same issues. And what we said was, let's go to this meeting. Let's get information, have the ability to digest the information that we're provided, and then move forward if we need more information. Again, it's like we keep going back to the well on the same issues, but after we have discussed it as a board and made the decision that we're going to go to the meeting first, get information, and then reflect upon it and make a decision on how to move forward. And so I'm not sure why this is being revisited after we've already discussed it. But it's not, but I will say that in the total, this is just one subcontractor. And obviously it seems like a sticking point for you, but one contractor. So let's go to the meeting, let's get information, and then pull away by having a discussion as the board, once we get more data, to figure out where we need to go or what information is lacking.
Okay, you have the third one? Commissioner Godu?
That's fine. We can wait until March 9th and I'll ask the questions then. I thought it would be helpful to us to have this in advance, but I'm willing to wait. That's fine. The third one is just a brief concern and probably belongs in that 9th meeting, but when the building was designed, you weren't recording commissioner meetings, and we are now. And I'm just wondering what AV wiring has been already employed to the room where we would have meetings to be sure that cameras and whatever AV equipment in the future, but that wiring should be included. Again, I know that's probably for next week, but I'd like to just plant that seed that it's a small
I think
concern.
Jude may have a comment on that.
That
Good.
was brought up in the design meetings, Commissioner, based on your early discussions with us, and it is absolutely part of the plan.
Okay, great, good, thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, so for me, I don't really think I have any new business. The only thing I want to say is I noticed that at the state level, the governor has instructed all state employees with state cell phones to take TikTok off of their phones. And I just found out that President Biden has also asked at the federal level to do the same thing. I'm wondering, for discussion purposes, we don't have to discuss it now, maybe later, that we follow suit, that any county phone that is issued to take TikTok off of that. I don't know how others feel about that. I mean, it's not a major issue, but since the feds are doing it and the state's doing it, how do others feel?
I agree. Definitely should be banned from all of the electronic devices that we are under the county control.
Mr. Coyle, do you have any?
I have no
Yeah.
issue with that.
Okay.
Just, yeah. I feel old, like, because I don't have TikTok on anything.
I don't either.
That's my takeaway.
So maybe what we'll do is we'll make that official next week.
Can I ask Robin, you have our cell phone device policy and the PPPs. Does that address some of that?
It addresses the fact that they're owned by the county and no unauthorized usage will, is prohibited. So it covers it, in a broad way. I can tell you that the majority of our cell phone devices that we have given out are to upper management within the county. In addition, we have in this past year put on a mobile device management system. So it allows me to create templates. So let's just say we give, a cell phone to the driver, our driver, we have a template on there that allows them to get mail and to go to certain things, but it does not allow them to download any apps. So I feel like we're, certainly going forward with all of the machines that are in our mobile device management system. We have a really good look at what they have on there. And then, I would suspect that the rest of us know better. So,
Okay.
but we can look at the policy and maybe make it a little bit more descriptive, Allison, if you think. But
I can do where we've done revisions to our policy. I can do something to bring forward for discussion purposes for the board, and then they would approve it, and then it'd be issued out, and we'd have all of those that have phone devices, they would have to sign. That's how we've taken care of it in the past.
Commissioner Godu.
I would like to also be sure that we include laptops and any other electronic device that app could potentially be downloaded onto, not just mobile phones.
Yeah, anything that's a county issue. Okay,
sure.
very good. All right, that's all I have. I'm gonna go to public comment. If anyone from the public would like to speak? I don't know. I know Linda, you were looking for the openings, which we did earlier on. So, but I didn't know if you had anything that you'd like to say, Linda?
No, Commissioner, I just, I've actually enjoyed hearing this as part of I live in the community as well, so this was very interesting. Thank you so much.
Great, thank you very much. I don't see anyone else from the public, so we'll close that down. All right, so we're gonna go into non-public. So how many non-publics do we have? Just the one?
I have one,
You have something
something.
else?
Yeah, it should
Okay.
be brief.
All right, who do you need in the room?
Well, we can just do the, it doesn't matter. We can start with Allison's. And then I
Okay.
can just wrap up with commissioners.
So I hope everybody has a great day. We're gonna go into non-public. And I'm gonna let Commissioner Coyle make the motion to bring us into non-public.
Yes, I move to enter into non-public pursuant to New Hampshire RSA 91A:3, Section 2 regarding personnel matter.
Motion's been
Second.
made and seconded, so we'll be going into non-public. Thank you, everybody. Chuck staying in the room?
Do you want me to run upstairs and print?
Oh, you didn't vote?
I didn't.
I did.
Oh, you did?
I did.
Okay.
I did.
Okay,
Yes, we've just exited non-public and I move to seal the minutes for the non-public sessions indefinitely.
Second.
motion's been made and seconded to seal the minutes indefinitely. I'll take a roll call on that. Commissioner Coyle,
Yes,
Commissioner Godu,
Yes.
and I will vote yes.
and I move to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Seconded. We are adjourned. Have a nice day.
Thank you.
Okay.